Good evening. Tonight we are going to do a applique, raw edge applique strip bag. Okay, and this is what it looks like. And I have my stabilizer hooped. I have all my vinyl cut that I'm going to use, and I'm going to go stitch the placement stitch. And on this bag, you must do the flap first, okay? So, all right, I'll be right back. Okay, it's did a basic outline, and it did the placement stitch for the first piece. And this piece needs to have about, at least, well, I use a 1/2 inch overhang. So I'm going to go just about 1/4 of an inch to the left of that line. I want to go up above because I want to have extra just in case. So I'm going to go over here, tape it in place, and then stitch it down. Okay, it's tacked this down, and it went ahead and did the placement stitch for the next piece of vinyl. So here's my next piece of vinyl, and I am going to line it up just to cover that stitch, the outside stitch right here, just to cover it up, and tape it in place, and then stitch it. Okay, it's tacked it down and did the next placement stitch. I guess I could adjust my measurements that I have at least 1/4 of an inch. I'm not going to cut it though because I don't feel like it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my next piece of vinyl and I am going to put it just to cover that line again. So I don't want that line to show. Just and nice and even, because that way I don't have to trim it. If you do it straight, you don't, and cut your vinyl straight, then you won't have to trim the inside edges. Okay, it's did the tack down of this and did my next placement stitch. Okay, and I'm gonna line this just to the right of that stitch there. That's kind of hard to see this gray on gray. Last time it was black on black and I couldn't see it. Gosh darn it, Jim. Maybe I need better eyes. All right, I think that's got it and that's got it. Okay, now we're gonna steal a piece of tape from over here. Tape this down. Tape this down and go tack it down. Okay, it's tacked it down, did the placement stitch. I've made adjustments to this because this one's too big too. So now I'm going to take my last top piece of vinyl, just do it straight over the edge a little bit, just cover that. Remember, this piece needs to be over about 1/2 inch, somewhere in there. Okay, be right back. Okay, there you have it. There's the flap, and now we're going to turn the hoop over, and we're going to take our back flap, and put it over the design. Make sure you have enough to cover the bottom right there, at least about 1/4 of an inch or so. You're going to tape this in place, send it back over, and do the last stitch. And when it stitches it, it will only do the sides and the bottom. That way you have a place to go in and put your magnetic snap or your cam snap or however you want to close your flap. Be right back. Okay, there we have it. I'll just take off all my tape. And then I will trim it all around about 1/4 of an inch or so around the edges. Okay, there we go. Tape on the back, tape it off. It's pretty. I bought this vinyl for my daughter to make her a purse. And hopefully this one doesn't air and I can give it to her. All right, so I'll take it on the hoop. And as I said, now I'll just trim it up. But I'm going to get the other hoop ready for now for the base of the bag. Okay, I'll trim this when it gets to a point I have time. Right now I'm going to stitch the placement stitch for the zipper. Okay, it's did the placement stitch, and now I'm going to put a zipper in here. And just FYI, this is the biggest bag I have of this style, and I trimmed this. So it's going to be about that size. It's a good size. Okay, I was hoping I had a gray zipper, but I do not. So we're going to tape our zipper between these two lines here, these two lines, and evenly. So tape it in place. Make sure it's taut. Tape the other end. Okay, now I'll send it over and do a tack down. Okay, it's tacked down my zipper. Now I'm going to place my vinyl right here along my zipper, and it will stitch it down right here. I'm gonna bring it right up to the zipper. Okay, it's tacked it down. I should have taped it because it tried to move and almost didn't catch right there. That would have made me sad. Okay, so it's did the placement stitch for the next one. I'm gonna put this right up to my zipper, right up to my zipper edge, and have it about, I don't know, just under about a 1/4 inch or so over. Okay, tape it in place so it doesn't move like the last one did. And this side over here needs to be over about a 1/2 inch, and the same with the bottom. Okay, be right back. Okay, it's tacked this down and it's done my placement stitch for the next. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I use the same color thread throughout my whole bag. I don't change it. Okay, so now I'm going to line this up just to the outside of this line here. Once again, I'm struggling with this gray. Gosh darn it. Put it there, make sure, because I want it to be even. And I'm gonna move this up a little bit, I think. Okay, and I'm gonna tape this in place right there. And over here where it doesn't, because it doesn't stitch way over here. So, okay, be right back. Okay, it's tacked that down. I'll have to adjust that measurement 1/4 inch as well. So, okay, now I'll take my next piece of fabric or vinyl, remove this piece of tape there. Oops. Okay, got that tape moved, removed. Okay, now we're going to put this right to the outside edge of that stitched line, just below the zipper as the other ones. And try not to bend the vinyl, because the last thing I want is it to be warped. Okay, so I'll put that piece there, and a piece down here, because I do not want it to move. Okay. All right, there we go. Be right back. Okay, it's tacked this down. Let me get my tape off of here and take my next piece of vinyl, line it up. Oh, that's got a little boo-boo on it, so I don't want that up there. So line it right here, just to the right of that stitch, and up to the zipper, and tape it down. Then go stitch it. Okay, it's tacked that down, did my next placement stitch. So now I'm gonna tape this over the line, just over the line. Well, first bring it down to there. Find my line. Okay, okay. Tape these down. And stitch it. Alrighty then, okay, it's tacked this down, did my placement stitch for the next one. I'm going to take my piece of vinyl just over that line, tape it in place, go over and stitch it down. Okay, there we have it. It's stitched down that vinyl, and it did the placement stitch for the last piece of vinyl. So we will take our last piece of vinyl, line it up right with just to the outside of that. Remember, this one has to be over about a 1/2 inch at the side, because that way you have, okay, wait a minute. Let's get this straight before I tape it down. Okay, there we go. Now I'll tack it down. Okay, there we have it. It's all stitched down. That's kind of what our purse is going to look like. Now we're going to turn it over, and we're going to put the lining with the folded, a 1/2 inch folded under, just above the stitch line right here, okay? Just above that. And we're going to tape it in place and send it over the machine to stitch it, okay? Okay, now we're going to turn it back over. There's my lining all stitched down. Now I'm with the 1/2 inch folded over. I'm going to put my top bit of lining just below this stitch line. Okay, just like that. Tape it in place and go stitch it down. Okay, it's tacked on the lining. See, here we go. Here's both our linings. The zipper's under there somewhere. Okay, all right. Okay, now after it did the tack down, you can't really see, but there's little stitch here and a little stitch here and a line, and that is those two little stitches here and here are where you are going to put your pocket or your flap. However, I forgot to add my snap, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I want my cam snap. I've measured the center. I want my cam snap right there. Okay. I'm going to I use long tweezers to put it down here and then find the hole. There we go. Put my top on. And I always find a piece of scrap fabric or vinyl to put under the other side. Right. So when I press it, it doesn't hurt my vinyl on the other side. Hopefully this is the right one. I just bought new pliers because my other pliers didn't work. Let's see. Oh, there we go. See, no mark over here. Okay? Okay, so now back to the bag. So you are going to center your, let me turn around like this so I can see too. Center your flap between that little line and that little line, however far down you want, but of course you want this stitch, you know, however far up you want it, okay? You want to line this stitch up with your top stitch. Okay, so once you centered it, and if you have to trim your edges, you know, your corners, in case you don't have them trimmed, you know, close enough, just trim it a little more. Won't hurt. Put it face up. Line my line up with that side, line my line up with that side. And I'm good like that. And then I'm going to tape this down and then send it over to the machine and let it do the tack down. Okay, it tacked it down, and it also did my placement stitches for my strap tabs, okay? Because this is so big, this is a shoulder bag, like a hip bag. But what you want to do right now is open your zipper so you don't forget, okay? Open my zipper, and I don't have to worry about it, the zip getting in the way because of that. Let me find where I put my tabs. Okay, I have my tabs. I'm going to tape them in place. Tape one there. Oops. I always tape my hardware down too, so I don't want it moving, flipping up. My tape didn't work anyway. There we go. And the same one over here. Same distance from the edge. Okay, and I'll go tack these down. Okay, now you would put your back fabric on, okay? But if you want a pocket, you would put that on first, and it goes face down. Make sure the bottom is at least a 1/2 inch under, and of course it has to be below that. I'm going to have it just about zipper height. So I'm going to make sure it's a 1/2 inch down, covers everything, and I'm going to tape this down because I do not want my pocket to move once it starts stitching. Okay? All right. Now I will take my purse fabric, back fabric, and I will put it on top of that, send it all to the machine, let it mash it all together. Okay, it's stitched all that down. Now we're going to turn it over, and we are going to put our other piece of lining on the back. Holy, that's a huge piece of lining. So you're going to tape it over the whole back. Cover the whole back, I mean. Then tape it in place, send it over to do the last embroidery stitch on your machine. Okay, it's done all that, and stitched the back, left a gap here for turning. All right, I'm going to remove all my tape and take it out of the hoop. Okay, as you can see, I used marine vinyl because I was out of black vinyl. I don't particularly care for the marine vinyl. It's a little heavier, not as easy to fold or turn. So now I'm going to trim my purse about a 1/4 inch all the way around, except at the bottom here. Okay, except this bottom. Okay, I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, now on the bottom, you're going to flip your lining back, and then you're going to trim the underneath bits, okay? Now I just need about 1 inch lining. I like 1 inch or so, okay? So I'm going to trim that. Now I'm going to cut my lining into an angle like that. Cut off my corner here. Same on this side. Cut it in to the end where it ends, the stitch ends. All right. Okay. Now you're gonna turn it right side out through this opening of the lining. Okay, be careful you don't tear your lining out. Once again, as always, you know, depending on how stiff your vinyl is, will depend on how easy it is to turn right side out. Okay? Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're not so easy. Then once you get it all sort of kind of going, you can put your hand up there and start flattening it around or so. Push out your corners. I have a paintbrush I use. I'll show you in a second. Once I get it out. Okay, I use a paintbrush to go in and poke my corners out best I can. And the sides, try to make them nice and even. Okay, now I take my my glue, because I use glue and my Wonder Clips, and I will tuck this in and tuck this in as well. I'll add my glue right here. Shake my glue down. No, it was me, dog. Oh, sorry. Oh, now she's going to have a cow. All right, so now tuck this under here. Oh. And then take my Wonder Clips and clip it. And go let the dog out. Okay, while my glue dries, I usually take this opportunity to take the stabilizer out from where my zipper is. Poke a little hole. Be careful not to catch your fabric. Like that. the other side. You can usually fold it back a little to see under there. And once you can grab hold of the stabilizer, it will usually just, if you can grab hold of it, it'll usually just push down like that. Okay? So clean that all up and while this dries. Okay, that's now I'll reach in here and I will unzip my zipper the rest of the way so I don't accidentally break the zipper. And then I usually take this opportunity to pull my flap out, take my tape off. Okay, pull these corners up and out. So, use my paintbrush, poke them out all the way. All right, I'll take my clips off. And I will turn my bag right side out. Make sure you do it between the back and the inside, not between the lining and the back. I mean the front and the lining. Or pocket is where you want to turn it. You'll know if you did a pocket. I almost always do a pocket. Corners out. There's this. There we go. Oh no, my vinyl's got a little cut there. Shoot, I'm gonna have to make that a scoop. Oh, that's gonna be difficult, isn't it? All right, so there's my purse. Get that off. There's that. There's my tab right there. I mean my cam snap. So now I will take and I will fold this to where I want it. Right? And thing like, see this little corner right here? I want to trim them. I don't want a straight edge there. So now I'm going to press this really hard to make a dent right there. Then I'm going to take that and make my hole. And then I will, whoops, drop everything all over. Reach in there and put that through the lining and the vinyl. And hope my new pliers will reach down here. I don't know why they won't, but you never know. Oh, yep. And do that. Okay. Close that. Make sure it snaps. Okay, and there we are. Okay, thank you.